week, we continue with a focus on crop production and the work of the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute and the integral role it plays in assisting farmers to enhance their productivity in an aim to contribute to the country's food security. Agriculture represents a significant portion of Guyana's gross domestic product. Moreover, Guyana's vast land spaces provide this country with great potential for growth through the medium of agriculture. With a sizable portion of the country's total exports consisting of agricultural products, Guyana is seen as possessing the potential for becoming a self-sufficient agricultural stronghold, with the ability to address and ultimately solve the food insecurity of the Caribbean community. To ensure that Guyana's agricultural productivity is enhanced and that farmers are given adequate support in crop diversification and other key areas of crop production, the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, which is an expansion of the National Agricultural Research Institute, has, since its establishment in 1984, implemented research designed to produce technologies and systems required to maintain national self-sufficiency. Chief Executive Officer of NARI, Dr. Udo Humnot, explained that the institution also focuses on developing new technologies and providing support and empowerment to farming communities. Among the recent technologies that have been implemented include those surrounding agriculture diversification, through the introduction of new crop types. Dr. Humnot said that there is a fairly high level of spice production in the hinterland regions of Guyana. However, Guyana continues to import millions of dollars worth of spices. The government is concerned with scaling up production in Guyana, particularly in the hinterland regions where the land space is available, but production will have to come hand in hand with the marketing of those products locally and in the Caribbean. In fact, the hinterland region is a major focus on NARI's agenda, and as such, fits in with President Granger's vision of tackling food insecurity in those regions.
The hinterland areas has been on the focus. It's a major program for the government as well as for the Ministry of Agriculture. And hinterland in terms of all the regions. We are currently finalizing, for example, an agriculture program for Regions 1, Region 7 and Regions 8. These will be finalized. I'm speaking specifically about the agriculture program. These are going to be finalized by August of this year because we want to take into consideration for the upcoming budget in 2017.
Dr. Humnot stated that other projects are being undertaken in the hinterland in an aim to increase agricultural development there as well.
In this intermediate savanna, specifically at Ibini, where of course there's both crops and livestock, we are talking about orchard production. That is the production of juices. We have identified the crops that we know can be cultivated successfully in that area. And a lot of work is going to be done this year. Before the third quarter, most of the work will be completed in terms of expansion of orchards and working with some of the persons who are investing in the savannas.
And while works are being done in that region, Dr. Humnot stated that it is the coastal regions that continue to dominate with regard to crop production. Other areas of technology introduced in crop production around the country include shaded cultivation and hydroponics, the latter of which is a technique used to grow plants in water instead of soil. In 2015, a hydroponics facility was set up at NARI's headquarters in Monrepo, East Coast Demerara, which is currently involved in testing the viability of certain vegetables using that technology.
Basically, we are cultivating plants without using soil. We're just basically using like the water, basically alone in a recirculation system where we have a reservoir, the channels, and a submersible pump. The nutrient solution is in the reservoir and the submersible pump will take it along the channels. As we can see, the nutrients are dissolved in the water, so it's just a continuous flow of the nutrients, no soil involved. What we only have is substrate to support the plant. So we normally use pebbles in the fruit type hydroponic system, and we use the sponge to support the lettuce in the leaf type.
Hydroponics provides for more produce in a less amount of time, among other benefits that farmers can tap into. Increased productivity also comes as a result of the ability for farmers to easily transport their produce to buyers. In this regard, access to farm-to-market roads, which aids in the reduction of spoilage and increased production, becomes imperative. Just this month, 2 new farm-to-market roads were commissioned in Parika in the Essequibo Islands, West Demerara region. At that event, Minister of Agriculture Mr. Noel Holder said that among the top items on the government's agenda is addressing the deplorable and underdeveloped infrastructural facilities in the country with a focus on farm-to-market roads.
As Guyana seeks to expand its agricultural output to meet its national and regional objectives, adequate farm access roads and dams have been identified as critical in optimizing agricultural production and development. The farmers, producers, and buyers face difficulties in transporting produce, inputs, machinery, as well as accessing lands and farms. Roads are often inaccessible due to damage from heavy rains and inability to accommodate the type and level of traffic required. This interrupts market access, trade and food supply, reduces incomes and employment, depletes savings, and erodes livelihoods. In essence, without projects such as this, food security would not be assured.
Farmers also expressed their sentiments surrounding the benefits of these roads to their work.
We were happy to have not only the completion of the road, but we were lucky to have 2 bridges built. I recall Mr. Flatt was telling me that the bridge would last us probably over 100 years. My great-grandchildren will probably enjoy that. But we are thankful for that also.
In the coming years, we the farmers know of our responsibility to care what you have given us, because it has cost millions, and these millions have to be borne in the repayment, and taxpayers, not only we the farmers, but other taxpayers will have to face that burden. So it is a duty of us the farmers to ensure that we maintain our roads.
But access roads are just one of the problems facing farmers within the regions. On a broader scale, Dr. Humnot stated that finding adequate markets and prices for their produce remains a problem. In this regard, it is believed that value addition through agro-processing can solve not only the problem of adequate markets for farmers, but it can also further enhance the country's food security. Minister of Business Mr. Dominique Gaskin, in response to questions on the prospects of agro-processing in Guyana, stated that Guyana holds great potential for agro-industrial development, given its relative abundance of agricultural raw materials. Therefore, strengthening our agro-processing production can be an effective means of economic growth and an improved standard of living. It is here that institutions such as the Guyana Office for Investment strive to encourage investments in agro-processing so that farmers can tap into these benefits. Chief Executive Officer of GoInvest, Mr. Owen Verwey, stated that while the country is involved in some aspects of value addition, the majority of agricultural production focuses on commodity products for domestic consumption and exports. He said that because of the economic benefits of agro-processing, more focus should be placed on value addition of agricultural products. As such, he stated that the institution is embarking on a study that will seek to assess which areas within the agriculture sector hold the most prospects with regard to agro-processing.
GoInvest is engaging the IDB in terms of financing, and we're about to get into a value chain analysis. That study will look at what is needed from the very start position in terms of your probably futures market arrangement in the buy aspect of the product, right down to whatever is needed at the end of the process to get that product delivered to that market there. Understanding that is key to ensure, one, there's efficiency, two, there's actual ability to deliver all of the aspects that are needed along that value chain. And thirdly, to ensure that we maximize the benefits of that for the economy.
Additionally, Mr. Verwey said that entering into agro-processing would require farmers to operate on a much higher scale of production.
At some level, we do need a few anchors in a few of the product lines. we need anchors that can take the scale of production up at a minimum probably 10-fold what the largest operators we have right now or farmers we have right now to get there. That's not a simple task, and hence the reason why we are getting into a value chain analysis to see what is needed to attract them, what is needed to support them, and what is needed to ensure that Guyana and its economy benefits to the maximum that we can from that level.
Mr. Verwey said that the studies being conducted by GoInvest will last for 5 years, but that it could take just up to 18 months to assess which industries are the most beneficial for farmers. President David Granger's vision for the country includes a robust economy, which itself would achieve sustainability in part through greater value-added production. In fact, his mantra as he travels across Guyana has been a call to value-added production and agro-processing. The president has made this call in areas such as Baracara in the East Berbice Quarantine region.
Every mango you produce, every breadfruit you produce, every papaya, every tomato, every passion fruit, you can make juice, you can make chips, and you can export those things. So rather than carrying a boatload of cassava, a boatload of plantain, you can carry a boatload of plantain chips, a boatload of pepper sauce.
The Pomeroon in the Pomeroon Supernam region.
I want you to be self-employed. I want you to be farmers. I want you to be agro-processors.
Oh, yes.
If you're growing coconut, make coconut oil.
Mabaruma in the Burima Winey region.
I don't want to see unemployed young people. When they come out of school, they must be able to go into an agricultural school. I want to see them doing what Don Hastings said they must do. Going into agro-processing, exporting plantain chips and cassava chips, crab meat, fish. This is what I want to see.
Rose Hall, again in the East Berbice Quarantine region.
I am convinced that everything that East Berbice Quarantine produces could be processed, could be the subject of some downstream manufacturing or agro-processing, could be exported to the Eastern Caribbean or to other countries.
And Linden in the Upper Demerara Berbice region.
It is no point talking about the past when you used to be a breadbasket. Talk about the future. Let us see what we can do to get young people to go back into the farms and to become food processors, manufacturers.
Minister Gaskin said that farmers have relatively low income. As a result, one of the most realistic avenues for increased revenue lies in agro-processing. For Guyana, agro-processing holds the benefit for increased value of exports, reduction of importation of foreign substitutes, job creation and increased investment, and enhanced food security, among other benefits. Increased production and value-added production are the way to go for the development of agriculture in Guyana. This country can and will live up to its potential as a true breadbasket of the Caribbean with this two-pronged approach and the continued hard work of farmers. This is Jasmine Payne. Thank you for joining us.